Okay, waiting for some people, see if anybody comes in. It's okay if not. I wanted to just get this recorded and out there and put into people's thought process to see what you think and to hopefully help counteract it. There's my sister Susie. Susie Q, I love you. Hello, hello, sweetness. David Coombs. Hey, my lovely, my brother and sister in arms. It's you today. You just, you see, synchronicity, Susie. Elder Barry, good morning to you, my big bro. Kenny Lefavor. Good morning or good afternoon. It is just on 12 o'clock exactly, Kenny. So it is just into the afternoon. Been up since 5:15. Didn't get to sleep till after 3. Not very much sleep. Theo decided to say, I'll have an early morning when Mummy had a late morning. So, yeah, you need your coffee. Yeah, you're going to need your coffee. If you got matchsticks in your eye, on your eyelids to keep them open, like an old Tom and Jerry cartoon, big bro. So. Give it a couple more seconds to a couple more minutes, let's say, to breathe and let anybody else come in. Other than that, I'm so happy that you guys and the girl are here. Grandpa Brian, good morning to you. You need that, Jennifer. Yeah, I definitely need matchsticks in these eyes today. They are fighting to go close. So early night tonight. Susie says, good morning, you awesome people. Favor of love, light, peace, and health to you. Okay, shall we get started? Shall we go? Good morning to you. I like it when you jest, big brother. So, KB said yesterday in the chat that about the G7 and the semenly ritual that went on there. So of course she sent me the video. So thank you, KB. Thank you so much for sending me that. I dug into it last night, and so I couldn't not, to be honest, because it's so in your face. And this shows the levels that we are at right now, the forces that we are dealing with right now, both spiritual and physical, because at least they used to hide it a little bit. At least they used to, make it a veil upon a veil upon a veil upon a hint. But now it's like in your face there, the rituals, the things that they're doing to activate certain energies. So first in the UK, we have the date for freedom that would be given to us by government, which annoys me anyway, just that sentence alone. So they delayed it, which a lot of us called. And so it was supposed to be Freedom Day on the 21st, of course, the solstice of June. And now they are delaying that. And, the term kicking the can down the road is cropping up a lot, even in some mainstream media. This is where a lot of us knew it was never going to happen. They're going to continue to lock down, to ruin as many small businesses as possible, to continue this biggest up pay to the elites as possible, to play with and convince people to get their experiments, their infusion, in order to have everything in its rightful place and order. There's an itinerary here. And there's very much an itinerary here that does hook up with the whole G thing, you know, and the activation that that will cause. My mind sprung back to the early days of this, where I said those in China, especially when we don't have videos coming out of China, unless the CCP want it to come out of China. If people do sneak videos out, it's got to be well worth their while, because they are in deep, deep doo-doo if they get caught. And so the amount of videos that were coming out for sure was because they were allowing them to come out to an extent for a time. And I said at the time, it is like those people are getting shot, zapped, were the words that I'd said. And of course, now we see the correlation of that switch on in Wuhan to the time that those videos were coming out, where people were just dropping down. Now, in China, they can get away with what the rest of the world has made illegal to a great part. But that doesn't mean that the rest of the world isn't harnessing the illegality, the dangerous, horrid acts that China will do in order to bring it into their own land. So all of the testing, all of the experimentation, the gain of function type of thing has been made illegal, yes, in the UK, US, and other places. So the elites, you wonder why people don't go for China too hard. The elites, harness the power of China in order to be able to get over those hurdles, those annoying little hurdles that they've got to get through. And so the correlation and the itinerary is rolling on. So going back to the UK and them delaying this Freedom Day on the solstice day, a sacred weekend, start of the week of energy that we can hook into, of portals that we can open up within ourselves, and in conjunction with portals, energy points on the outside of self, where we build up community spirit, where we build up, we're in communion with one another, we're communicating, we're dancing, we're building the energy, putting out positive vibes. They are harnessing that. And so this is the build up of that, which is the ritual that went on at the G7. And so KB sending me this video was super insightful. And I've pulled some cards to go with this. So bear with me. Okie dokie. Let me know if opening this interferes with the stream at all. Okay, so share screen. Right, okay, so I hope you can see that. I can't really see the chat. I need another screen in here so I can see at the same time. But this is where there was a big protest that got no coverage, hardly any coverage at all. And it was people dwelling in the sea, beautiful place in the UK, in the sea. And it was a protest of people with signs, inflatables to say no more plastic, no more, pollution, needless pollution, things like that. Now, in the news, it depicts these women here that were a part of this seemingly a part of this protest. It depicts them as protesters. Everything in my psychic nature is telling me no, they are not part of the protest. They just used that to mix in seamlessly into the scenery. Now, you can see here how these women are dressed. They're dressed in red. Now, what came through for me when I was looking at them and digging into, my psychic nature, what came through for me was sacrifice. This is a sacrifice of the blood, the DNA, sacrifice of life, fire, passion, blood ties, bloodlines working together, rage and a danger. And so to say that we're expecting something on the solstice from these so-called powers that be would be an understatement, particularly in the UK. I've spoken to a lot of people, Wayne included, because I had a lot of I've had a lot of heavy visions, a lot of heavy feelings about the UK, in a death, knowing and smelling a lot of death in the UK coming up, certainly within the next 6 months. So this all correlates to there being an activation time, a switch on time. They've been working real hard to lay those special lines in that purple covering, you know, ready for that switch on. And so these, you can see here that they've got their white faces, their red lips, their black eyes, deliberately so, and covered in the red, literally covered, even fingers. And so so representing the spilling of blood, very much so, guaranteed. Here they are. Don't know if I can zoom in on that for you. Here they are, look, all masked up, with their hands open. These people are in ritual. These people are in unison and in joined intent. Where is it? Come on. Here we see the joke. And they love to joke. They love to make fools of others. They love to look down on others. So here we've got Trudeau and another goon. They've photographed them, one wearing blue, one wearing red, representing, you know, the circulation of the heart. I know that's not true in colours within the body, but, you know, representative of. We've got the blue in the background with the varying different blue waves. We have the red in the flag, and we also have the blue and red in the ties with these two goons, representing that it's two sides of the same coin. All sides that are part of this plan are harnessed to divide so that they can conquer, sending in somebody to be in power for a little while to build up economy, build up people's you know, energies, and then, like the narcissistic journey, crashing them down into a shock. It creates a shock. And so, and that helps them control and harness and oppress people easier. So here we see them being photographed elbow bumping, whereas within the same photographers then see them all cuddling and shaking hands and standing next to each other indoors, eating cake alongside the Queen, and having flown in from foreign places, having not had to be tested, having not had to take a temperature test, having not had to quarantine, like the rules that they passed down to us. And there they are, elbow bumping while laughing at us while they eat caviar and champagne and drink champagne. So we see here, here they are, and they're doing various different poses, the as above, so below pose here, bringing down the force, the power into the physical reality here. We see here they pose for another picture. Lots of blue in there, and one red, the woman. There is a woman in red. This woman representing like a neutral zone, a balance point, the rest varying different colors of blue. And so here they are posing, making fools of us even more, so socially distancing. And 5 minutes later, being indoors together, huddling up, laughing, carrying on, singing and dancing. Whereas Boris puts down a rule that, yeah, we're going to relax, maybe guests at weddings and funerals, but no singing and no dancing. And social distancing must be attained to. Rubbish. So again, we look at this picture. If it doesn't make you sick, please try and look at it. I know it's difficult. And so here we see Cruella de Vil in her Dalmatian dress, you know, ready to sacrifice even the cutest things for her attire, for her adorning of herself. We see here this lady. Now, this lady is a witch, and there are, just like everything, high frequency and low frequency. For want of a better word, now we're called witches, but you know, people who are alchemists, who are in the knowing of esoteric knowledge and having a certain level of wisdom of how to use it within the sphere of magic. She is in the red, the exact same tone of red as these protesters are wearing. It's quite hard to match up red. I've done up a lot of furniture in my time, and red is really hard to match up. And so you see here the representation of the divine feminine, divine feminine here, divine masculine, if you want to call that, in their world, in their perception, let's say. Divine masculine, divine feminine, and you see them being mirroring of each other at the same pace, you know, in the same at the same gate, you know, the mirroring of each other, the two pillars that are helping bring forward all of this rubbish. And so let's stop the share there. And I'll put that down there. So, do you see what I'm saying so far? Now, I couldn't get copyright free footage, and I didn't want to risk anything of these people in red then entering the sea in their ritualistic pose amongst all of these protesters who didn't know what the hell was going on with them. And so this very much was a ritual harnessing the energy and power of the people there and making certain sacrifices. Now, funnily enough, on the same day, at the same time, there is this that happens. Let's see, share screen again. Share. Okay, so the Express, I just clicked on the first one I could find. G7 summit. Body found by cliffs near the meeting of the world leaders. Now, this cliff is called Hell's Mouth. And let's read. So, the death is being treated as unexplained and not suspicious. Of course not. Cornwall Live reports. Hell's Mouth is approximately 8 miles from Carbis Bay, where the world leaders are meeting. But there is currently nothing to suggest the incident is linked to the event. Really? Thou protest too much, surely. A spokeswoman for the Maritime and Coast Guard Agency said at approximately 11:15 a.m. today, on the 11th of June, HM Coast Guard's assistance was requested by Devon and Cornwall Police in the North Cliffs area. Port Reith Coast Guard Rescue Team and the St. Ives RNLI lifeboats were sent alongside the search and rescue helicopter from Newquay. A statement from Devon and Cornwall Police said police attended an area at Bassett Cove, Cornwall, after a body was located at around 11:30 p.m. 3, 4, 5. The change in points. Colleagues from the Coast Guard and the RNLI also assisted officers at the scene. Police are currently treating the death as unexplained, but there is nothing, but there are not thought to be any suspicious circumstances. Of course not. Never let it be said. Hell's Mouth is a group of cliffs just over the other side of St. Ives Bay from Carbis Bay. They can be accessed via the southwest coast path, which runs further northeast past Godrevy. Another one. A vast sandy beach with dramatic coves. Godrevy is a National Trust tourist hotspot. Not anymore, it's not. Nobody's allowed to go. So, what do you think of that? Isn't that just so convenient? Isn't that just, they don't tell you any of the details of the man. They don't tell you why they don't think it's suspicious. You know, was he? They don't clarify that he was suicidal. They just say very little, so that they don't trip themselves up. But they want you to know that there was a sacrifice. They want you to know that something was given to the sea. So what we can look out for, let's look at the cards that I pulled thus far, and then we'll pull some more. So we've got for this woman, I'm not going to say her name, but Boris's new wife. That is another ritual building up to this, in that she tied two things together, two aspects of her material life. She tied them together in marriage just 2 weeks ago. It was sudden, it was private, it was done to tie together, to make bonds, to make those bonds both in spirit and in the physical. To balance two aspects of a material life, her ability to use him as a conduit to bring down not so divine feminine aspects into the reality. This is where I feel I've been getting that feeling of where there is the rise of the divine feminine in the collective, for the greatness of the collective. Duality speaks, and there is also a rise in the females within the power stage becoming much, much more apparent, and their nature being an opposing force to the nature of the divine feminine that's waking up in a lot of the people within the collective. Again, I've padded this out in my psychic knowing, in that this, I feel, is for a hatred of the divine feminine in particular, because I feel the beings that are within these 13 bloodlines, that are within these families, these shadowy figures, I feel they are led predominantly by the feminine, like the honeybees. You know, they have the queen bee, and so there is a huge disdain actually for what our divine feminine was and represented and is waking up to be again. And so bringing this into fruition and balancing out the two aspects. She is an alchemist. Now, the Page of Swords comes out. Now, that speaks of a thirst for knowledge and power that she wants, but it also speaks of her tying together also those ties with the fallopian tubes of the Two of Pentacles. You put it that way, you've got the fallopian tubes, and that is the child that she has had with Boris. Very much using that child as a tool, using that pregnancy as a gestational spell to bring forward what she's directed to bring forward, but also what she yearns for, also her power requirements and her thirst for blood. And so we've got the Knight of Pentacles. Sorry, no, I'm not doing that one first. I am doing Boris. So Boris, we've got the 7 of Coins for him. He is playing in a playground of this woman. He is distracted. He's distracted by all of the commands that are coming down the chain. He's a fantasist, and he is exploring a woman like he has never explored a woman before. She's fascinating to him. There are many aspects of him that he feels she's unlocking. He's fascinated by her skills in magic, in esoteric practice, and so there is off the job completely. He's completely and utterly just putting forward the words that he's told to put forward. Other than that, he's exploring in this playground like the buffoon that he is. We've got the devil card for him. He has been ritualistically tied to her via this child that they've had together, and via the certain practices that she's done with him, some knowingly, can't get the card up, and some unknowingly. She has bound him to her. She's bound him to her will in a great deal. It feels like she's working with a few powerful spirits to help her do that. It feels like he's getting spoken to through them. So that is pretty interesting. So she has the Six of Wands on the bottom of the deck, and this would be bringing it into the physical. She's had a victory within this. She's had a victory within the gestation of her pregnancy. She's had a victory in the birth of her child. She's had a victory in the marriage. And now there's been a huge amount of victory in sacrificing to the sea, building up to the solstice energy. And so we've got to see what these two combinations together create. We've got the Knight of Cups. Again, she is allowing him to explore her, but very much she is the master and the director of this. And so with the Hermit card, he is absolutely, like I said, with the Seven of Cups, off the job, but totally fascinated and in exploration of her. The Nine of Wands. We need a huge amount of discernment here, because we think we can look at just what is coming down the surface layer of the commands that he's putting down. This is much deeper and much darker than that. This is both spiritual and physical. And so much discernment is needed. Definitely not to continue as a collective on this path, but for sure in the UK, not to continue down this path of doing as we're told by these people, these beings. The Two of Wands comes out also. Yesterday's reading brought up a lot of water. There is a lot of esoteric knowledge about the water, about the renewal tanks that I've seen, about the different aspects of the collective unconscious that is held within this water. This ritual that was given to the sea, and flesh was also, a life was also given to the sea. This is where we see that we need to be looking at the sea. We need to be directing our attention towards the sea. There is some crazy stuff going to go down on the sea. I feel like shipping, looking at how our ships can get through, looking at the barriers that are being put up. Where are the Navy ships? Where are they situated right now? Because they're not situated where they're telling us. Where are the submarines? I feel like we could be looking at a war at sea in the future. But for sure, we need to be looking at supplies. What supplies come via the sea? And who is supplying them? And do we think that they are going to fight back against the government to get those supplies to the right place? We have the Six of Cups on the bottom of the deck. So this speaks to this time loop, these things that were emotionally tied to the past, but that they are emotional. I feel she comes from a long line of magic practitioners. I feel that he is from a line of these beings, all somewhat way down the line, but that there is this memory in the waters, if we can remember hard enough, of times in history that represent and reflect this, where more and more of the hijack occurs, and we must not let that happen. And we must remember, our loved ones who did fight in World War I and World War II from their hearts for the right reasons. A lot of us know now that, these bloodlines and these people that help them, that are either related or loosely related to them, have caused that and won on both sides. And so it is important for us to remember that too, for us to stand together country to country. But there is a lot of the soldiers that have been activated and have killed enough that they'll do as they're told, even against their own people. So it is about a lot of discernment, and this is a warning shot, this ritual, that we really need to get our act together in the UK, and we really do need to start walking and stepping in our divinity and being active in doing our own rituals that would meet that force with an opposing force. As far as, let's see, as far as Biden, as crazy as it sounds, it feels like this person, and I wouldn't usually speak out about somebody who they haven't confirmed yet, and you don't know the family or the stance. It feels like this person was almost zombified, whether that was medically or just psychically induced into even being willing to sacrifice to the sea at hell's mouth. Of course, that not reflecting true will, that reflecting being coerced, just being mentally broken enough to be able to be coerced. Biden, Ace of Swords popped out before. I didn't think it was going to pop out, so Ace of Swords pops out again. So the Ace of Swords wants to be seen. For the US, there needs to be a lot more clarity regarding Biden versus Trump, or Biden versus anyone else. There needs to be an uproar, to be honest, to go for the head of the snake in order to declare him unfit, physically and mentally unfit for the job. I'm serious, to try and stop what is coming down the line. We've got the Two of Cups in reverse. So again, this speaks to the two of them that we see pictured there. She is very much in control and puppeting her masculine side that is reflected in him, almost animating him with medication for sure. But it is about breaking divine union, breaking people from the divine, like the reading yesterday with that Fool in reverse. It's not a divine journey. It's not, why isn't it divine? Why isn't it connected to the divine? Well, because these people are hijacking people's lives and getting away with it. Wow. Magician in reverse. That is very dark. Again, this speaks to her being part of this ritual, being party and knowing what was going down and actually being happy for it to go down. This is the trickster energy, and all is not what it seems. You, like us in the UK, you haven't got an either side. Even the good people on either side, the movements, there you are, the movements have been hijacked on both sides. They're labeled, they're cursed, they're they're infiltrated, and they've been used to, just like in wars, use the good hearts of people. Damn it, can't pick up this card. Use the good hearts of people and the good force and intent and power of people to meet their agendas, for sure. So one more card for Biden and his partner. She's a doctor, isn't she? She'll be the one to put the switch off on Biden. Ace of Cups in reverse. Yeah. So we've got the Ace of Swords, going for the head of the snake, declaring him unfit is necessary. The Two of Cups in reverse. This is a union in its darkest form. A lot of control here. A lot about their purpose, meeting their purpose. Magician in reverse. A lot of dark magic, low frequency magic going on here. And then being privy to it and witness to it and actually in enjoyment of it. Ace of Cups in reverse. Now the rest of the deck is pretty much in the upright. So this is where there is a loathing for love as we know it. There is a loathing for the kind of the way that we communicate in love, the way that we are in love, the way that we can enjoy love as we know it. There is a pure hatred for that here within this couple, in particular in the female aspect of this couple. And I do think she is a real female. We've got the Knave of Pentacles again. So this youngster energy, this is also to bring forward the plans that they have for the children. If you haven't already in the UK, get your kids out of school. They've sent a letter out to say, and I've been saying this from the start, it's bloody hard work, but get them out of school, because if you've noticed in the UK, they've been, again, this is where the itinerary is being met. They've been putting up real big security fencing. We don't have school shootings. They've been putting up real big security fencing, key card entry systems, tannoys. You're not getting in unless they let you in. And they've been spending an extortionate amount of money on this. They haven't been spending an extortionate amount of money on computers or books or PE kits or PE equipment. No, it's all about the security. So I've been warning and warning about this. And then now they are sending letters out in certain demographics to parents to say that, and they've got this long list. I'll have to get one of the letters to show you. This long list of reasons, including a rogue dog outside of the school. And the school has the legal right, if your child is there, to lock down for any amount of days. And any parent trying to get their child out of school could risk arrest, the police would be phoned, and they would not be allowed to remove their child from the school for this whole myriad of reasons. It's starting. What do you think they're going to do when the kids are locked up there? They're gonna give that infusion for sure. And the teachers, there's been some marvelous teachers who've stood above and beyond the narrative and risked their own necks for it. But the majority, like the majority of nurses and doctors, have gone along with this. And for sure, they've been deliberately employing a lot of females actually, but people who will, who you wonder, how did they get the promotion? Out of all of the teachers in this school, out of all of the good teachers in this school, how the hell did they get the promotion? Well, they got the promotion like a lot of healthcare workers got promotions that shouldn't have recently in the last few years, all in preparation for, they don't want people like you and I in those positions, because people like you and I in that position would say, hell no. The parent can absolutely pick up their child whenever they want, without hesitation, without blockade. So this is where they've been in preparation to get goons that'll just follow orders regardless. So this is for sure has been a ritual. If you could only see the videos that you see them entering the sea, in the ritualistic pose. So I invite you all to do your own ritual. Meet this opposing force. See it for what it is. Feel it. and then meet it force with force and even ramp it up past their force in order to put out divinity and sovereignty, power, strength, a no more attitude, particularly over the children. So be aware that this feeling I get for the next 6 months, I'm gonna have to show you something actually. How do I find it for you? 1 second. Yeah. 1 second, bear with me, because I've been having this feeling for a while and discussing it with people that I trust, and just to transmute it. And that's new to me, and that's a gift. Let me see. 1 second, sorry. Where is it? Okay. Found it. No, I haven't found it. Oh, you. It's saying site can't be reached when I know I opened it just the other day. Oh, wow. Have you noticed that they're making it very hard for you to re-see things that you know you've seen? Sorry, I'll not be a second, but I really want to find it one way or the other. What's that one? Okay, yeah, I've got it. We thank you for bearing with me. So put it on there and share screen. So after I was having that feeling, oh damn it, what am I doing? Share screen. So after I was having that feeling of just smelling death and knowing it was correlated to the infusion and a switch on of some sorts, whether that was coming into contact with other live things like bugs, or whether that was coming into contact with frequency or both, I was feeling this. So this is something that was published 27th of May 2021. My friend came across it after I'd been telling her about these horrid visions that I was getting and this feeling that something was coming, something was already in the works, and actually there's very little we could do about it. You know, it's too late, so to speak. People have taken that infusion. Some placebo, some real. They don't want too much at once. This is a controlled demolition in their eyes, in the powers that be. It's a controlled demolition of the numbers of humanity, of the systems that we've helped them build up, that we've helped them gain their wealth within, harnessing our creativity. So, coroner's body removal contract. This isn't the norm. Industry, other community, social and personal services in the Southwest. very much the area that, you know, these rituals have been going on. The contract value there, procurement reference, published date 27th of May, closing date 28th of June. So we've got the ritual a week before solstice, and we've got the closing date for this kind of thing the week after solstice. I'm telling you, this is when some kind of switch on is going to happen. Something is going to come down the line during those 2 weeks, or some things. Contract start date 1st of September 2021. I feel like this, for one thing, is going to be a date where a lot of people start getting very poorly, and also other things coming down the line, which we'll cover in other videos. Contract end date 31st of August 2026. If you look at that 2026, that would equal a 10. It would equal completion. And then with the 31st added in, that would reduce down to a 5, changeover. So it says the council is looking to procure body transfer services on behalf of HM, Her Majesty's Coroner, in the unfortunate case of a violent, sudden or suspicious death. It is the responsibility of the coroner to remove bodies from the scene to a selected mortuary or body storage facility in order to complete the necessary investigation. A maximum of 3 providers will be promoted to each lot. These providers will be ranked in according to highest overall final evaluation score. The highest scoring provider will be the primary provider for that geographical lot/zone. Sounding something like a movie? It should. And with the other successful providers within the lot (zone being the alternative according to rank, if the primary provider is unable to provide the service. We want to make sure they've got somebody to do this job, basically. The lots are coterminous with the zones, coterminous with the zones, I don't know how to pronounce that. Each lot aligns with the geographical zone across the Devon County Council Coroner's jurisdiction. The deceased, so in a similar area to where this ritual has been done. The deceased is to be collected as directed by the police control room and the coroner's office and transported, Freudian slip, to the North Devon District Hospital and any other location as directed by the coroner. The expected value is 750,000, but of course we saw there it can actually go up. There will be a tenderer event held at Microsoft, of course, Teams on the 10th of June 2021 at 10 a.m. 10. 5, midpoint, decision making, appointments, meetings, 10 cycles. In relation to this tender, the event will be focusing on the tender process, so what they're expected to do, how they'll do it, and how quickly they'll do it, and will explain the ITT and the other documents, as well as useful information to enable tenderers to be tender ready. Tender with those bodies, they're contaminated. There will be an overview of the service requirement from commissioners of the service, and there will be an opportunity to ask questions at the end of the event. Whilst every endeavour will be made to answer questions at this event, it may be necessary to respond at a later date. I bet it will, because you don't want to tell them everything first thing, do you? Just in case there's somebody there pretending to be a coroner, just in case there's a coroner who has got a backbone and cares for humanity and would come out and tell the truth about what they'd witnessed and what they'd heard and what they'd been asked if they could provide. To ensure that this event is of the most benefit, tendering organisations are encouraged to ensure that persons attending are the most appropriate, i.e. persons who will be constructing and making decisions about any tender submitted. In order to book a place, please email for the meeting invite to be sent to you. Wow. So there's that. There's that. Now, what is this other one that I thought might be useful? Mortuary equipment, service, maintenance and repair. Contract, repair and maintenance service, location of contract, England, value of contract 30,000, procurement reference 26th of May again, published on the same date. Closing earlier, one day earlier on the 9th of June. Closing at 9 a.m. Honestly. Contract end date 11th of July 2023. So 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So 9 digits in there. Service contract, open procurement. The authority has a statutory requirement to provide mortuary services to Liverpool residents. The authority is seeking to contract with a suitably qualified and experienced supplier who can deliver all elements of the service requirements. The service requirements include, but are not limited to, maintenance of mortuary refrigeration, ventilation, and associated equipment. The successful supplier must also be able to repair electrical equipment associated to refrigeration units and ventilation systems. The successful supplier will be expected to provide a 24/7, 365, also 24/7, 365 days a year maintenance and repair service. The successful supplier must be able to provide the following report based on the testing, provide HVAC report and test that the ventilation system provides the necessary air changes per hour in accordance with Human Tissue Authority standards on an annual basis. So there's that. They're putting out these service contracts all over the place, all related to death. Now, the one I wanted to show you, which is not showing up, which is interesting, spoke about coroners that could move contaminated bodies quickly. So, move contaminated bodies real quickly. Remember, this has been experimental for them. Just think back to the rave that they did in the UK. Everybody who went wild for that and clapped for that and said, yes, we'll get the infusion if you let us go to a rave, pretty please, oh dear master, oh Lord of the jibby jab. And so they did. They got tested before, they got tested after. It was a study. It was a study to see how the oneness would occur. I feel whether they would see tissues after interacting with one another, a little bit like black goo, you know, being drawn to each other, helping each other grow and expand, something like that. They got tested afterwards. That's a trial, it's a test. You were test subjects. They want these bodies. They don't want, once the activation has occurred and results have happened in certain people, they don't want these bodies to go to waste. Now, they are to be studied. And so if you think about all of the talk about AI and needing these infusions to be so cold that heat will destroy them, they need this to stay real cold, like real cold, for them to be able to study what has occurred in the bodies, what success rates they've had, how it worked, why it worked. Joy, death, death, death. So this is what they've got going on, and this ritual was all part of that and was all preliminary to that. So in the UK, wake up. Everywhere else, wake up. TikTok, we've already lost a lot because of the sleepiness and actions taken. It would be unfortunate to lose more. And we've got to keep a hold of ourselves. If this comes down the line, if they manage to pull off what they managed to pull off, then we have to keep a hold of ourselves. We have to find a way to be able to stay balanced within loss, to stay on our path, to keep going, to keep that drive, that push, to dethrone all of these puppets that serve these shadowy beings, and to ultimately de-seed those shadowy beings. Yeah, so heavy. Whew. That is that. So let's see. Now, little sister, big brother says. Now, he says, now. Okay. Let's see. Kaz is here. Hey, Kaz. I'm working out how to edit on Restream, put the song that you made me that I love so much on Restream, so that I can put it at the start of the videos, even when I go live. I love it, Kaz. Thank you. Wait till you all hear it. I put out the shout for that, and no sooner the words Kaz was like, boom, making the gift. Elder Barry says, Big Bro says, big corporations are forcing infusions and hiring recruiters to replace employees in mass. Yeah, so of course it's not forced. Just basically you don't, work here if you don't, kind of thing. Exactly, Big Brother. Nicole, hi. Hi, Nicole. I haven't noticed you here before, and if I have, then I do apologize, but I welcome you now regardless. Thank you for being here with all of these awesome people. Nicole, I do pull cards quite often. I do daily readings. If you want to go to my channel and look at, I've done today's reading that was put up late last night, and I've already done tomorrow's reading that is ready to go out at 10 tonight. I'm re-streaming it, so it looks like I'm live, but I'll be in the chat. But keep calling in, because I do pull cards for people quite regularly. I can't help it. And so, or if you've got anything quick and specific now, I'll do it now. But yeah, you can book in a reading with me at that link that Susie's put in. You're so awesome, Susie. Thank you. truedivinemedia@gmail.com. Kaz, I love you. Hey, Paul. Yogi Bear, hi to you. Yogi Bear says, hi, Elder Barry. My nephew works in the medical field. Good job, and had to get the infusion. He works for a private company that have homes addiction. He does groups, etc. Really. I'm sorry, Yogi. It's not a choice for some, and that's it. It's like they say it is, and it would be a very difficult choice. It would be a losing home choice, losing job choice, when so many jobs have already gone. So the job market isn't easy. So nobody here will say that that was easy or anything of the sort, Yogi. And protection around him. Let him have had the placebo. Good morning, Raven. Hi to you. Oh, and she's 33 years old. Is that right, Paul? 6. So the 6 of Wands, the 6 of Cups, Damn, thank you, Paul. So she's 33. She's the perfect age to bring this forward, to be the conduit. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Goodbye, Grandpa Brian. Have a wonderful day. Love you, Grandpa. Raven says, Mehe Hona. I hope I pronounced that right, Raven and all. Dragon Soul Fox, hello to you, beautiful. Let's see. Put protection around your nephew, Yogi. Absolutely. Let's see. Hey, Delaney, my black pearl. You're live at you live one block. I thought you said I'm live. You live one block from an Ace hardware store. Yeah, we could do with putting some hardware in some not so shiny places, Delaney. So I'm doing my nails and I'll be doing my Aces tarot card recreations today. Beautiful. I'll check that out. Mr. Ranger wants to know where you are, Yogi. In Massachusetts. Yeah, please hit that like button. So what do you all think about that though? Delaney Pearl says, I see the Ace sign out my windows. Let's see. Now, little sister, that makes me laugh. I can hear him saying that to me all the time. Now, little sister. Yeah, that will be awesome, Kaz. I'm trying. I'm gonna get there. I'm a determined little sucker. Neil. Hey, Neil. Because he's got little legs. So what do you all make of that? Do you get from it what I'm getting from it? Or Neil says Al Capone is in charge. How can you believe a word they say when you can plainly see what they do? I don't believe a word they say. But I catch them out. I don't know how other people believe a word they say. I really don't. Not at this point. I used to understand a lot more. I'm at a bit of a loss right now, Neil. Probably like yourself. On guard, little sis. You're welcome, big bro. You're welcome, Yogi. So I'll leave that with you. Share this out. It needs to be seen. It's another huge ritual. It's another huge spell that they've used and done under the guise of something else. Nat Trudeau. I'm going to do a video on him. He is such a horrid character, and what he's allowing to be done under his watch in Canada to those Native children. Screw him. Screw him. Yeah, you see it, Susie. It's absolute spell. So meet it force with force. Share this out. Speak it out, even if you don't want to share this out. Show the photographs in plain sight. Show the death that occurred. Leave a comment on the video once it's up and out there, and let other people know about the channel. But most of all, speak out your disdain and your no more to these beings by your actions. Open up, stay open, and like Susie says, shields and swords. Oh, shield wall. All right, I love you all. I appreciate you all more than you know. Much love, balance, and wholeness Mwah. Oh, no. No, it's not. Who who wanted a reading? Was it Neil? Was it you, Neil? I'll get you next time. Let me know next time. Pop in and let me know. All right, I love you much. Mwah, 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 mwah. Yogi putting protection around your nephew in intent with you. See you later, big bro, sister. Mwah.